I'm 12 years old, translating a book from German into Farsi because that's what 12-year-olds do. I'm not a genius. I'm the daughter of an international con man, which means I moved over 30 times, lived in refugee camps, lived in Germany, Iran, and Turkey, and changed my identity twice, all before the age of 12. On the plus side, I can tell telemarketers to get lost in 4 different languages. So I'm on page 110 of this 200-page book when my uncle walks in and asks me what I'm doing. I'm translating a German book into Farsi. In that moment, my uncle could have done a lot of different things. He could have said, "That's interesting. I've never known a person who did that." Or, "I'd like to read it when it's done." Or, "I know a little German. He's sitting right over there." Any one of those would have been better than what he actually did. He laughed. "Ha! You'll never finish it." Has this happened to you? Can you recall a time when someone you loved and respected said to you, "You can't do that. It's too hard. It's impossible. You don't have what it takes"? Did you believe them? I did. The sentence I was translating the moment my uncle walked in was the last sentence I translated in that book. Words have power. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words have the power to alter the entire trajectory of your life. Words are so powerful that they shape your reality. They shape your identity within that reality. When I was 9, we boarded a plane in the middle of the night from Turkey to Germany. We arrived at the Frankfurt airport with new identities. My father sat me down. He said, "You're no longer allowed to speak Turkish." "But Dad, that's the only language I know." "No, you don't know Turkish because you've never been to Turkey." "You want me to lie?" That's when my father said something to me that I will never forget. It's not a lie if you believe it. Henry Ford expressed a similar idea a bit more elegantly. Whether you think you can, whether you think you can't, either way you're right. The first quote came from a con man, the second from a visionary. Both speak of using your thoughts to become whoever you want. Words are powerful because as human beings, we are hardwired to trust. A 2015 study from the Journal of Neuroscience found that most people want to trust others. And our willingness to trust increases with the people that we know. We want to believe that others are telling us the truth, especially the people that we know, love, and respect. I trusted my uncle. I trusted my dad. Both men had my confidence. Both gave me bad advice. Both became con men because that is the origin of the word con man. The con stands for confidence. I put my confidence in them and I got conned. Turns out you don't have to have bad intentions to give bad advice. Henry Ford famously did not take bad advice. In fact, once he said, if I'd asked them what they wanted, they would have said, "Faster horses." I spent my 20s and a good part of my 30s trying to unlearn the lessons of my childhood. I wanted relief, healing. More than anything else, I wanted to stop getting conned. And what I learned, what I realized was that in addition to all those con men that we encounter out there in the wild, every one of us has an inner con man telling us lies about who we are and what we can and cannot do. Do you have a voice inside your head that says, you're not good enough? You don't have what it takes. You have to change who you are in order to fit in. Well, I call that voice Fred. And here are two things you need to know about Fred. First, Fred's language is fear. He uses fear to plant doubt in your mind, to put limits on your potential, and to shame you for simply being you. I look at 9-year-olds and at how hard it is to get them to do literally anything, and I am just blown away that my father was able to get me to stop speaking Turkish, the only language I knew fluently, with just one conversation. But then again, he had Fred on his side. It's amazing how the fear of consequences can control our behavior. Words are powerful because your peace of mind depends on the words that you are willing to believe and the ones you choose to ignore. If you really want to be happy, you have to learn to ignore Fred. Whether he's talking to you through someone else or he's screaming at you inside your own head. Like, I have this thought that keeps coming into my head. Like, do these people even care what I'm talking about? Like, is this at all interesting? Like, shut up, Fred. No one's talking to you. If they like the talk, they'll applaud. Oh, thank you. That's the thing. Just because he believes something doesn't mean you and I have to. And that's the second thing you need to know about Fred, is that his opinion of you really has nothing to do with you. He's just projecting onto you his own fears, his own limitations. You don't have to buy into them. My life, once I was able to recognize Fred's voice, when my father gave me advice, he was actually sharing with me his own worldview. When he said things to me like, never sit with your back to a door, or you can't trust anyone, even your own parents. When my uncle told me that I could never finish my translation, what he was actually saying was that he would never be able to translate a book. As a kid, I didn't realize that that was Fred talking. If that exchange happened today, I would say to my uncle the same thing I'm saying to you now. Stop listening to Fred. Stop being afraid to be you. And then I would use my powerful words to speak of possibility rather than limitations, to empower rather than trap, and to create a world that is beautiful and filled with hope. Once I was able to recognize Fred's voice within myself and others, it became so much easier to ignore bad advice, even when that advice came from the people that I love and trust. When you finally tell your Fred to shut up, what beautiful realities will you create with your powerful words? So, if I have to leave you with one piece of practical advice for you specifically right here today, go out there, get yourself a German book to translate into Farsi, And don't let Fred tell you you can't. Thank you.